This video is a call to prepare in intimacy, to endure in faith and rise in strength because the horses are coming. Welcome to the Maggie B Show. I'm your host, Maggie Barato, and I'm passionate about hearing God's voice and seeing His Spirit at work. Jeremiah, God's chosen prophet, was burdened by what he saw around him. And we can read this in Jeremiah 12. There was corruption, injustice, and the wicked seemed to be prospering. And Jeremiah brought his frustration to God, and he said, "Why do the wicked prosper?" He was tired, frustrated, and maybe even a bit disillusioned. But God didn't respond with comfort or coddling. God's response in Jeremiah 12:5 reads, "If you have raced with men on foot and they have worn you out, how can you compete with horses? If you stumble in safe country, how will you manage in the thickets by the Jordan?" He responded with a challenge. If you're weary now, how will you handle what's coming? In essence, God was saying, Jeremiah, this is only training. There is more ahead. I'm not trying to break you. I'm building you. The same call is going out today. If you're feeling worn by the footmen, it's time to lean into God because the horses are coming. The trials you're facing now, they're not meaningless. They are preparation. The footmen in your life are the disappointments, the delays, the daily stresses, and they are training for you to endure. In Romans 5, verses 3 and 4, it says, suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. See, God uses the small things to prepare you for the significant. Endurance doesn't come in a moment. It's built in the daily decisions to stay faithful. Safe seasons are your training ground for storms ahead. Hebrews 12:11 says, no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who've been trained by it. If you stumble in peace, you'll struggle in pressure. That's why the process matters. God's challenge isn't a rebuke. It is an invitation to rise. He was telling Jeremiah, you're made for more. I believe you can handle what's coming. In Philippians 1:6, it says, he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Jesus Christ. God sees strength and potential in you, even when you feel weak. In Matthew 25, Jesus tells the story of 10 virgins waiting for the bridegroom. 5 were wise and bought extra oil. 5 were foolish and brought none. When the midnight cry came, only those with the oil entered in. The oil speaks of daily intimacy with God. You can't borrow it. You can't fake it. You must cultivate it. The bride must get oil now, not later. When the door opened, only those prepared in private were able to enter in. In Matthew 14, Jesus invited Peter to walk on the water, but not in calm seas. The invitation came during the storm. Peter walked because his eyes were on Jesus, but the moment he focused on the wind and waves, he began to sink. Jesus was showing him and us that faith is not the absence of storms, but the presence of trust in the midst of them. Jesus is calling to you to step out now, not when it gets easier, but now. Don't wait for calm. Don't wait until you feel ready. Faith moves at His word, even in the storm. The horses are coming. The season is not the final battle. It's training. The cry of the bridegroom is near. The shaking is increasing because the horses are coming. If you are fainting with the footmen, it's time to strengthen your spirit. If your lamp is empty, you need to get oil. If you've been waiting for things to settle down before stepping out, it's time to step out onto the water and walk by faith now. I want to go through practical ways that you can prepare for times of trial. Number 1, deepen your daily devotion. Time in the Word and worship is where your oil is filled. That's where you fill your oil lamp. Don't wait for crisis to connect with God. Store up your oil daily. Second way, embrace the process, not just the promises. Ask God, what are you forming in me through this? Growth happens in the pressing. Number 3, surround yourself with strength. Walk with those who build your faith. Don't isolate yourself. Connect with others who are also pressing in. Number 4, record God's faithfulness. Keep a journal of what God has done. You'll need to remind yourself when things get tough that God is faithful. Number 5, let God heal the weak places in your heart. Don't run wounded. Allow God to heal your heart so you can carry his power and presence with endurance. Get your soul whole. Number 6, speak life. Declare the promises, not your fears. Align your mouth with the word and your heart follows. Speak life. You may feel like you're just keeping pace with the footmen right now, but it's preparation. You're not behind, you're being formed. You were never meant to faint in the fire. You were meant to run with the horses. This isn't just about making it through. It's about rising in strength, walking in faith, and burning with oil for the days ahead. The bridegroom is coming. The waves are rising and the horses are approaching. Now is the time to prepare in intimacy. Now is the time to walk by faith. Now is the time to get oil. Don't quit. Don't delay, because the horses are coming and you were born to run.
Thank you for listening to The Maggie B Show. Subscribe so you can tune into the next episode as we focus our eyes to look at what God is doing.